It's crazy. We're told to be strong. We're told to suck it up. We're told so many different things about how to be a man. And no one tells us, fathers told us to just stifle it, get rid of it, don't worry about it, move on, butch up.
Anchors and Eagles brings listeners into the studio with host Adam Facenda, a tattoo artist turned story chaser. And now, on to the show.
Let me start with this right from the beginning. I am starting this podcast again. I once started this about, I would say last year, maybe last August, which is funny because at the time of this recording, it'll be done a few weeks prior to August, but right around August 12th is when I'm going to be releasing this. Hopefully, I nailed it on time and I hit my mark. The reason why August 12th, for me, it was the day that I officially started tattooing for money. I got my very first chance at making money off of complete strangers. It's pretty awesome. So that's why I'm releasing this on August 12th. Now, this past June was Men's Mental Health Month. And for me, that I didn't know how I was going to get affected by this, right? Like, I started off the day before the first, and I had a conversation with a friend, and I've just gone through a breakup and everything, and he had heard through the grapevine, and he wanted to check on me because I checked on him when he was going through a similar situation. And it was in the Chipotle line. Shout out to Chipotle. I mean, if you guys want to sponsor this, it's okay. I'm down with that. I love your food when I'm not shitting myself afterwards. Yeah, so when I was in the Chipotle line, I don't even want to say his name. I love him so much and I don't want to put his business out there. So maybe he'll just be on the podcast in the future. Who knows? So he called me up checking on me. Long story short, it turns out he needed some help. Guys, we're always like so busy with our own crap, and we don't really pay attention to as much as we should. I guess I would say that's a proper way to say it. Some of our significant others think we neglect them and stuff. And that's not the scenario. We do love you guys. We love all of our friends. We love all the people that are in our lives. It's just hard to know where to delegate all the energy that everyone needs. And it's really hard, especially when you're dealing with mental health issues. So back to the story. I'm in the Chipotle line and, he gives me a call and he's like, "Hey man, I'm just calling to check on you, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Hey man, I'm really like in the middle of something right now." I'm like, "Dude, let me call you back in 5 minutes." Now, most of the times when someone says, "I'll call you back in 5 minutes," at least in my friend group, 5 minutes, it never happens. Like you never hear back from that guy or your friend, and you're like, "Man, I really need to talk to this guy." And he's like, "Yeah, it's okay. Cool." I kind of heard there was something in his voice that he needed a little bit more help, or not help, but he needed to talk to me as much as I needed to talk to him. And so I made it a point. Like I threw the line, I sat down. As soon as I sat down, I threw my headphones on, I called him. And that conversation, which was probably going to be a 10-minute check-in on me, turned into an hour conversation with him and things that are going on in his life. And I woke up the next morning and boom, there it was on the internet, or let's be honest, on social media, because that's where I'm at all the time. And it was Men's Mental Health Month, and it kind of hit me like, man, I'm going to make a video about this because I've suffered with this my whole life, as long as I can remember, as a young adult. And I think being vocal about it is probably the best thing I could do, right? So I just made a video, and then I saw the traction that I got, and then I got a few people that were in my life a long time ago reaching out to me and saying, "Hey man, your video really helped me. I feel like I'm not alone in this." And that sparked me to want to do a video every day. At the same time, I put it on my tattoo page. If you don't know anything about me, I'm Adam Facenda. I own True Love Tattoo at Fort Lauderdale. I've owned this shop since 2008. I am the creator of the company, the brand, everything. So early in my career, I had my own Instagram that was kind of filled with tattoo stuff. And then I said, it's kind of creepy. These people can know everything about me because they're seeing the tattoos, but they're also seeing my personal life with my brother and my sister and stuff like that, very intimate stuff. So I created a whole nother account, and I have another account. I got so many different accounts. And I put this video out on my tattoo account just because I knew it would get enough gravity that people would be touched by it. And then I collaborated with some of the other social media platforms that I had, and I even started putting it on TikTok. And it wasn't because I wanted to become famous or anything like that. It was mostly due to that. I really wanted to reach out to men that were afraid to talk about mental health. It's crazy, you know. We're told to be strong. We're told to suck it up. We're told so many different things about how to be a man. And no one tells us, fathers told us to just stifle it, get rid of it, don't worry about it, move on, butch up, walk it off. All these things that, man, it's just like it's great to be a man, right? It's great to be the hero of the story. But at the same time, no one sees the other part of the story that is behind the scenes. You know, we only see Superman flying around saving lives and doing all this crazy stuff that like a real hero would do. But we never see in between. We only see what's on the film that they're recording at that time. Behind the scenes, it's a totally different story. And now let's talk about a comic book, right? The comic book, it's just a story. You know, not everybody can be Superman, and that's fine. Like, but when you're raised to think that a real man doesn't cry, doesn't feel pain, is the toughest man in the room, all these things, and then you start having these emotions. Now, as a young man, it makes sense, right? As a young man, you're filled with testosterone, and you're like, I can walk through walls. I can do all this amazing, wonderful things. I never get hurt. I can run as long as I want to run. I can lift as many weights as I want to, and I never get tired. And, you know, testosterone's an amazing thing. But then later on in life, after you've damaged yourself a little bit, it starts to creep up on you. Now, for me, it started creeping up on me very early in life. I can remember from being a young boy, probably as a teenager, having these weird emotions like, why am I not eager to go out and play? Why am I not eager to go and hang out with my friends? Why do I just want to sit in my house? And that was when I started seeing commercials for adults about depression. And then I started worrying, do I have depression? No, it's not even possible. I'm a happy person. I got the whole life in front of me. I'm like, I'm never going to die. This is endless. The world is amazing. And then as I grew older, something happened. I guess it's just what happened to me as a kid, being beat up by my father, verbally, physically, mentally. My mother, she was no saint. You know, I know every mother is supposed to be the saint. You can do no wrong as a mom. But man, she did some damage on me too, and I watched the damage they had on each other, and it really messed me up for a very long time. I mean, and even to this day, I'm having issues with it. But I was looking at this Men's Mental Health Month as, wow, we're going to talk about men having mental issues and mental health issues and the lack thereof, talking about it and coming out about it. And I was just like, man, I think I'm going to do a second video. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a third video. And then it just hit me like, hey, man, I'm just going to do a video every day. And whether anyone watches it or not, at least people will know a little bit about me and maybe even want to talk about it a little bit more with their significant other. Now, I've lost really great relationships, one recently, and it's due to my past. I mean, we'll unpack that down the road. It's nothing to talk about now. But I know the pain and the struggle that I went through and the emotional roller coaster of trying to make everyone happy around me, and I just couldn't. And it's, you know, so cliche to say, yeah, you know, you got to work on yourself. You know, I used to laugh at people when they're like, yeah, I'm just finding myself. And I'm like, I'm right here. I know where I'm at. Like, that makes no sense to me. Maybe I was ignorant to emotions. Maybe I was just ignorant to understanding other people just because of how I was raised. But with this month of June, I was like, man, I can make a difference. And to be honest with you, my whole life, ever since I was a young man, you know, I was part of a group of young lads that we were anti-racist skinheads. And I used to say if I could change a racist mind and open their mind a little bit, then I've lived a very full life. And I will tell you this from the bottom of my heart and my entire soul. I know I've changed a lot of people's points of view for the better of the whole world. And so I've lived a very, very blessed life. And there's something inside me. I don't know. I've been going to church. And I know some of you guys who are listening to this might not be interested in hearing about God or going to church or anything like that. So I'll keep it limited. But just so I don't lose you, because there's a real importance behind what I'm getting ready to say. I started going to church, And there's this thing that's like, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? And as a child, you're asked, what are you going to do when you grow up? And man, I always said, I just wanted to be a kid. I don't care about growing up. Like, what's the sense of growing up if I don't enjoy this moment right now? And it just really hit me that my purpose has always been to help people. I don't know if that's something that my father instilled in me as to be a man, or if that was something that just came natural. I just, I just know for a fact that my purpose in this world is to help others. I know that I'm here to love, and I'm a diehard romantic. I am a Pisces, if you don't know that. We're very sappy and we're very emotional and we love love. And I know a lot of people say, I love love. But honestly, I named my business and I put the word love in it. And I put love in everything I do. And I think everybody should. So I wanted to take this month of June and just really touch as many people as possible. And I'll say this, I never imagined the people that reached out to me and the people that I've met since making those videos, that they look at me as someone that got them through some rough times. Now, I've used music to get through rough times. I've only leaned on a few shoulders in my lifetime, and I used to joke about how God gave me large shoulders just to hold up the world or be there for somebody or just be a shoulder for somebody. And if you've ever been tattooed by me, I'll listen and listen and listen. And I'll give you some interjections of how I feel about the situation or maybe just some things that I've gone through in life. I'm not a therapist. My therapist actually said I should start a men's group. And I've talked to a couple of friends about what I've been doing with these videos. And I just really wanted to try to help more people out there with just a podcast. So I'm not going to have all your answers. And some of it's going to be for entertainment and some of it's going to be serious. And I'm going to try to have guests on. And you see all these podcasts where they blow up and it's like, oh, these famous people. And that's kind of that's a really easy way to grow a podcast in my mind. I think the hard way to grow a podcast is just bringing on real people, talking about real things, Every relationship I've had, I've gained a lot from that. And I don't just mean romantically. I mean friendships. I mean the relationships I have with some of my clientele. If you take a minute in your lowest point of your life and look at your life from a different angle, perception is a crazy thing. Someone can perceive you as the strongest man in the room while you're falling apart inside. Someone can perceive you as the guy that never has any problems. But meanwhile, you're just holding it all in. You're literally just holding everything in and everything's just like taped, scotch tape, not even duct tape, scotch tape. That scotch tape you get from the dollar store that doesn't really last very long. And you're just like re-sticking everything and like retaping everything up. And it's just funny how people perceive you, But I'll tell you this, you're not alone in your emotions. I think we all feel that we're trapped in this brain of ours and this soul and that this is it, but we're all going through similar things. So in my way, with Yahweh, I know that I'm not alone. But in a way, I also know that you're not alone, even if you don't have religion, because there's so many people having the same emotions you're having. And I hope that you tune into this a little bit more. I promise you they won't be down all the time. I promise they won't be all over the place, But I am here to try to help you guys and just let you guys know that I love you. So you're not unlovable. And I wish I could be there for everyone in the world, but I could also give you a lot of tips on how to kind of maneuver through your life and then start getting some help, even when you don't want to, But that's what this podcast is for. So I hope you enjoy it. This is just a kickoff. Thank you for tuning in. And most of all, you guys, just remember, you're not alone in any of this. I don't care how low you think you are. There's always a high and there's always a low, and you're going to live through it all. And hopefully you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's what I got for you today, guys. Once again, thank you for listening to Anchors and Eagle. This is Adam Facenda. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and have a good one.